Drivin Ivan here with a very unique classic car. It's a 1948 and a half Woody. It's one successful businessman's dream to build his own car, and he did it both before and right after the war. So, will I be impressed with my Crosley CC Woody wagon? Let's find out. Well, in terms of its shape, I think it's very impressive. That's why I bought this car. I mean, just look at it. It's got kind of the painted wood side. It's not real wood, it's steel, just like the original car. But to me, a really, really, really cool shape. And I just couldn't resist it, especially with the surfboard on it. I don't have the surfboard on it for this video. Maybe I'll stick a still picture in so you can see it. But yeah, it's a Woody sort of wagon clone, and I love that look. And I think Crosley built a very nice looking car. It's a unique paint scheme and really a unique shape that brings you back to the day. Definitely a 40s looking car. It's got a lot of cool details that make it stand out. I love the Crosley badge here in the back. Look at that. It's one light right there. Bumpers are really cool as well. I'd say it's a definitely a 10 in terms of classic car, the way it looks. Cool shape, classic lines, just custom enough. Yes sir, the Crosley CC Sedan. And this guy's, it's a Woody too. Very cool. Stepping inside, you'll see it's very simple. I've got the surfboard up here, and I think it's a bit custom. It's got a little storage tray up top done with the leather there. The seats look really nice. They're just very simple and basic, and you can pick them up and get access to the back there. So it's really usable. You can fold this down and kind of turns into a wagon. So really, you know, for back in the day, this was a very useful car. In fact, it was Crosley that first coined the phrase sport utility with their convertible sort of pickup that they built. So sport utility goes back to Crosley, and a lot of innovations like disc brakes go back to Crosley as well. This was one of the first cars that had disc brakes, was a Crosley all around, so that's pretty cool too. But getting back into the interior, just basic gauges here: speedometer, odometer, 29,331. I believe it does work. You got an amp meter, you got a fuel gauge, temperature, and looks like another sort of pressure gauge there too as well. Maybe this was a speaker, not sure. But it's actually turn the key here, and it's a push button start, so that's kind of cool. This is about the trunk. And then 3 gears plus reverse. Reverse is up and forward, and then first, second, third, and third locks in underneath this thing. So that's kind of unique too. You got your clutch pedal and this pedal too. This is probably for the lights. And then the gas pedal. The door panels were just kind of custom done in wood. Got a little bit of custom air conditioning going on there. You've got a flap you can open on either side, so that's pretty cool. This was a Florida car, so you need the air conditioning. Pretty cool, huh? Of course, the interior comes complete with fuzzy dice and also visors as well. So really, really cool. Basic interior, certainly, but this was everything you needed, plus a lot of utility for 1948. Crosley's engine weighed only 133 pounds, 60 kilograms, and the displacement was 44 cubic inches, and produced 26.5 horsepower at 5,400 RPMs and 33 pound-feet of torque at just 1,200 RPMs. Therefore, of course, it had a great power-to-weight ratio, and it was popular for use in the military during military use, power equipment and things like that. It was known as the Crosley Cobra engine, produced from 1946 to 1949. Copper brazed is what that means, also known as the Mighty 10, and it was the first overhead camshaft engine to be produced for use in mass in automobile production. 0 to 60, I would say, is probably about a half an afternoon. They're not known to be quick, but they were known to get great gas mileage as much as 50 miles per gallon. So that's a good thing. Driving the Crosley is an experience. It's got 3 forward gears and reverse, and third kind of locks down, so it's kind of interesting the way this car shifts and drives. It's really not a modern machine. There's nothing modern about this Crosley. 1940 and a half was a long time ago. It gets a lot of looks from the kids staring around at it, and it certainly is an interesting car to drive around. Great for car shows, great for nostalgia, and really just a timepiece that takes you back. And it takes you back when you're driving it. It's so primitive. The steering inputs, the way the steering wheel turns without really doing anything. And, you know, it takes about a quarter turn before you really get this vehicle turning. So the drive is really quite interesting, and something that you don't experience every day. Driving a really old car like this is certainly an experience. The more smooth throttle you give it, the better you are. Brakes work, but I wouldn't say they work great. So you kind of have to think about it. And like I say, driving a car this old is something you don't want to do every day. This is not a daily driver, but it is an extraordinarily interesting car to look at and to own and to drive as well, because it is so unique. But it's a very mechanical sort of driving experience. I'll shift it into second here for you. There you go. That was pretty smooth as it goes. Doesn't always come out that smooth, but with some practice you can drive it quite smoothly. Clutch does not have a lot of travel there, and the pedals are basically coming right out of the floor, a la Porsche 911 or something like that. So it's interesting to drive in that respect too. Drives a lot smoother once you get it warmed up, and it does have a choke, so that helps with the warming up process. But really, it's a unique driving experience. Not fast, but certainly interesting. Chitty chitty bang bang like, except you're not in a convertible open air. You feel pretty well sealed off in this sedan. In fact, CC sedan as they called it. And Crosley was an innovator. He became very successful selling electronics, radios, certainly. He was a millionaire in the 30s, and like many entrepreneurs that came after him who really loved cars, well, that's what he did. He built cars because he had a passion for them. And so the Crosley was born, and he built many different body styles. Crosleys were extremely compact cars, basically micro cars, and that made them stand out amongst many of the other offerings. They were very affordable back in the day. They were small, and they were economical too. And that's what really sold these things during the wartime. During the war, well, there was certainly a gas shortage going on, and so people bought these. Even wealthy people bought them because, even though they were very affordable, they bought them because their big engine cars were excessive and you couldn't really run them because gas was hard to come by. So these got about 50 miles per gallon, so they were a game changer during the war. I've met so many people who have stories about these cars, and my uncle has a story where the Crosley Hotshot was what my granddad drove, and they actually delivered that car up to a wealthy person in New York for them to drive it when gas was at a shortage. So these cars saw a lot of use, and they were very practical in ways that other cars were not practical. So they had something going for them. They were built from the 30s to the early 50s, and then basically automobile manufacturers started manufacturing really better cars that were also a bit economical, a little bigger, and so that basically spelt the end of the Crosley. But they were very innovative. They had a Jeep style car, they had the Crosley Hotshot, which was a sports car, they had sedans, wagons, convertibles, like I said, the first sport utility, the convertible pickup truck. That's how that phrase was coined. So a lot of innovation with Crosley, and a lot of success, and therefore they really are very interesting cars that even stand up today as definitely affordable classics that are quite interesting. This particular car, of course, is a standout because of its custom body, and I think it's in really nice condition. It's definitely a cool car to own, but it's a little bit unnerving with the whole driving experience. Brakes, you really have to stomp on them to get them to stop, and that can be a little intimidating to many drivers, and so that's something you have to think about. You got to think when you drive this car. The market right now for these Crosleys is pretty strong, as with most classic cars these days. You can get a parts car for maybe a few $1,000s, and I've seen nice ones go on the internet for $15,000, $20,000, depending on what shape they are, what body style, and how unique they are. So this one, I think, is definitely on the top end of those collectibles. It's a cool look. It's a bit custom, but I think it's a very unique classic car to own, and an affordable classic car to own too, that will definitely draw a crowd at a car show, especially with the surfboard on it. So a car like this, you don't see every day, you don't get to drive every day, and it's definitely an experience. So there you have it, the 1948.5 Crosley Sedan CC Woody, sort of custom creation. A great classic car, and certainly an interesting car to bring to a car show. There you have it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all my other car videos and disc golf videos as well. Just Google Drivin Ivan in your favorite car and you'll find my car review. And check out my music videos where I play all the instruments, my literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. And again, subscribe, share my videos, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching. I'm Drivin Ivan.